By the time the first trucks rolled into the valley, everyone in San Cordoba had already hidden. The soldiers wore the black crest of the Dominion, the same crest that had burned cities from the coast to the desert. They had come with drones, armored carriers, and enough rifles to conquer a nation. They came for one person. They came for Elena Virek. To the Dominion, she was a fugitive sniper responsible for the assassination of General Torren at the Battle of Red Basin. To the people of San Cordoba, she was something else entirely. She was the woman who had stopped the execution of 20 farmers with a single shot from half a mile away. She was the reason the Dominion feared open windows. They sent an army. She only needed one bullet. Elena lay prone high above the valley, pressed into the cold stone of a forgotten watchtower built centuries before the Dominion ever dreamed of power. Her rifle rested steady on its bipod. She had cleaned it 3 times that morning, not because it needed it, but because ritual steadied her breathing. The rifle was old, older than the Dominion itself, but its barrel was true. Beside her sat a single cartridge, brass catching the pale sun. She did not carry more. In the village below, armored vehicles fanned out like insects. Loudspeakers crackled. "Elena Virek," a voice boomed. "You are surrounded. Surrender and the village will be spared." Elena did not blink. They always said that. Through her scope, she studied them. Rows of soldiers establishing perimeters, drones rising, searching rooftops. And then she saw him. Commander Rise, decorated, ruthless, and clever. He did not hide in a vehicle. He stood among his troops, confident in numbers, confident in intimidation, confident that no one would dare fire into a crowd of civilians. He had studied her record. He believed he understood her morality. What he did not understand was that Elena never wasted a bullet. Years ago, before the Dominion had a name, Elena had been a competitive marksman in the capital of Valmir. She had broken national records before she was 20. They called her Hawkeye long before war twisted the word into something darker. When the Dominion rose, they offered her prestige, wealth, and protection. She refused. They imprisoned her brother instead. She escaped. Her brother did not. The memory did not make her hands shake anymore. It made them still. Below, Commander Rise gave a signal. Soldiers began pulling villagers from their homes. An old man fell to his knees. A child cried. Rise drew his sidearm and pressed it casually against the old man's head, not to fire, but to demonstrate. Elena exhaled slowly. The distance was 1,142 meters. Wind speed, 8 miles per hour from the east. She adjusted 2 clicks left. A drone shifted, nearly crossing her sight line. She waited. Patience was the difference between myth and martyrdom. Through her scope, Rise spoke again into the loudspeaker. "You have 1 minute." Elena whispered to herself. "So do you." The army believed in overwhelming force. She believed in inevitability. 30 seconds. A soldier struck the old man with a rifle butt. The villagers screamed. Rise smiled faintly, scanning the ridgelines, certain she would reveal herself in desperation. He still did not understand. Elena did not aim for his head. She aimed for the small silver transmitter clipped to his collar, the device linking him to every unit in the valley, the device coordinating the drones, the device ensuring that if he fell, retaliation would be immediate. If the transmitter shattered, command would collapse into confusion, drones would lose feed, units would revert to localized control. In chaos, armies hesitate. 10 seconds. Elena let the world narrow to a circle of glass. Wind, breath, trigger. She squeezed. The rifle cracked once, sharp and clean. The recoil pressed gently into her shoulder like a familiar hand. Down in the valley, Commander Rise's collar exploded in sparks. The transmitter disintegrated. The round continued through, precise and merciless. Rise dropped before his body understood what had happened. For a heartbeat, nothing moved. Then, everything did. Drones flickered and drifted without guidance. Soldiers shouted over dead channels. Units looked to lieutenants who looked to captains who had no orders. The old man stumbled free as the formation broke. Panic spreads faster than discipline. From her tower, Elena did not fire again. She did not need to. The Dominion's strength had always been its image, unstoppable, unified, omniscient. Now, in front of hundreds of witnesses, that image bled into the dirt. Some soldiers fired blindly into the hills. Others pulled back to secure vehicles. Within minutes, the coordinated occupation had dissolved into retreat. The trucks that had rolled in with thunder left in disorder, dragging their commander's body with them. Silence returned to San Cordoba in fragments. First, the engines faded, then the shouting, then slowly the wind reclaimed the valley. Elena stayed prone for a full 5 minutes after the last vehicle disappeared. Discipline did not end with the shot. Finally, she rose, dismantled her rifle, and slipped the empty casing into her pocket. 1 bullet. In the village below, people emerged from hiding. They would never see her. That was part of the promise: protection without spotlight, resistance without parade. By nightfall, stories would spread beyond the valley. The Dominion had sent an army to capture 1 woman. They arrived with hundreds of guns and left defeated by a single round. In distant barracks and guarded offices, officers would speak her name more quietly. Recruits would glance at open windows. Commanders would double their security and triple their fear. Elena Verek moved along the ridgeline under the cover of dusk, already planning her next position. The Dominion would send more. They always did. Let them. They believed power was measured in numbers. She knew better. They sent an army. She only ever needed 1 bullet.